There are few places on Earth where rain is so frequent. There are also few ecosystems where the sun shines in such an intense way. Here, the water has the power of sculpturing the view and keeping the rhythms of life. It also sculptures the mountains and digs valleys, keeping an outstanding variety of species. A nature reserve that maintains great part of the ecological system of this fascinating biome is located in the center of the largest preserved area of the Brazilian Atlantic forest. A place where, until now, few people have been. A place no one can forget. When the Europeans got to the Brazilian coast, they found powerful vegetation that had never been seen in any region of the world. Before coming to the Amazon, the explorers in the South American continent faced astonishing tangled vines and epiphytes supported in trees whose height were 40 meters. There is one extensive and constant area of forest that is spread along the coast of Brazil for more than 4,000 kilometers. In this area of land, there is a huge mountain range made up by the ancient rocks on Earth. The result of this meeting, that is, the huge mountains in the Atlantic Ocean, is an extremely humid and hot climate capable of having a unique ecosystem, the Atlantic forest. The green barrier made by this fanciful meeting among the mountains and the ocean represented an obstacle to men to go to the countryside of the South American continent for centuries. At the end of the 19th century, this scenario changed drastically. Today, it has left less than 7% out of the more than 1 million original square kilometers of the Atlantic forest, but a great part of this area has been altered by man. Surprisingly, most of the areas preserved in the Atlantic forest are concentrated among the most crowded urban areas of Brazil. Between the south of the state of São Paulo and the state of Paraná, there are thousands of kilometers on the coast extremely disconnected, where you can find a maze of shallow canals where sailing is an adventure for few people. The Atlantic forest is still intact in a region where there are almost 20 million inhabitants. It occupies a complex mosaic of bays, plains, elevations, and islands. In this rich and complex environment, an extraordinary activity has flourished and become an important reference to the sustainable use of the Atlantic forest.
Em 1996, vindo de São Paulo para Curitiba de avião, sobrevoei esta região e fiquei impressionado pela beleza da natureza que dava para ver desde o avião. Rios, montanhas, morros, florestas. Chegando em Curitiba, me informei e resolvi tomar um ônibus e conhecer Guaraqueçaba. Guaraqueçaba se encontra no litoral norte do Paraná e realmente é um dos últimos remanescentes de floresta atlântica no Brasil. Fiquei morando em Guaraqueçaba um ano. Comprei um barquinho, uma voadeira e resolvi conhecer bastante lugares. E tivemos oportunidade de comprar uma área muito grande, de 500 hectares, já com a ideia de converti-la numa unidade de conservação. Através do Ministério do Meio Ambiente, resolvimos convertir esta área numa RPPN, uma Reserva Particular do Patrimônio Natural, cujo nome é a Reserva Ecológica do Sebui. A nossa ideia era de como manter esta área sem cortar nada e unicamente através do ecoturismo ganhar a aposta que uma floresta vale mais de pé que deitada.
In respect of the principal basis of the ecotourism, there was a great effort in making good use of the available resources in this reserve itself and the engagement of the local people.
Agora, neste mesmo lugar, antiga tapera, nós estamos construindo uma casa novamente. As tábuas foram todas construídas de canela preta. São madeiras que estão há muito tempo já caídas no chão e nós fazemos o aproveitamento para construir essa pousada. A vida do turismo, gosto de trabalhar com eles, dialogar, conviver junto com eles, passear, mostrar as cachoeiras, isso eu adoro.
The experienced local workforce made it possible to build a peculiar structure. Fallen trees in the forest were used and transformed into lumber to be used in the structures. The principal refuge also expresses the creative capacity of carpentry developed throughout the centuries. Alternative and efficient solutions were required to solve the problem of the distance of the conventional sources of energy. For instance, the energy used to heat water comes from the combustion of the abundant amount of plant residue in the reserve. The treatment and the destination of the residue involves a simple technology, but suitable to the local environmental conditions. The structure is for small groups willing to enjoy nature and assimilate the ecological knowledge about the Atlantic forest. The nature itself offers educational and fun activities while respecting its own limits. There is also time to observe and obtain the knowledge that nature gives to the visitors. This reserve here in the middle of the region of the protected region of Guaraqueçaba is one of the most beautiful, well-preserved remnants of the Atlantic rainforest here in Brazil. Along the coast of Brazil, there's very few places left like this. And this place here is a paradise. I recommend for anybody that loves nature to come here. It's truly amazing. The trip to the Sebui Reserve starts in Curitiba and goes to the Paranaguá or Taguaçaba. At these places, the transportation is done via Paranaguá Bay, where the sea is so calm that we can enjoy nature. Depending on the ship used, the trip can take from 50 minutes up to 3 hours, including, in this case, a stop in the old village of Guaraqueçaba. On arrival, the visitor can see how the local people deal with wood. Walking over a wood footbridge, the visitor will have a rare opportunity to observe the unique fauna and flora of the mangrove ecosystem. After this, the visitors follow a trail that goes through a transition area that leads into the lowlands of the Atlantic forest. Finally, the visitors arrive in the refuge. After a short break, he or she follows a trail towards the amazing waterfalls of the Sebui River. On the way, the visitors can see the most incredible features that the tropical Atlantic forest offers. Different colors and shapes are everywhere. During this extremely interesting walk, ecological themes are shown in an amazing way through pictures. Five striking waterfalls can be encountered along the trail, where visitors can dive into its aquamarine colored water, which motivates the visitors to continue this unforgettable trip. Sleeping overnight in the refuge is a unique moment to enjoy the food, music, and traditional knowledge. The sun rises in the reserve, and the fresh water is our ambient of study and relaxation. Going through the Sebui River by canoes until its mouth is an unbelievable experience. The route is full of challenges and surprises, offering the visitors completely new views to admire. Exotic birds, dolphins, and fish make the magnificent mangrove swamps a luxurious view, where life offers rare and dramatic moments. In one of the most productive places on the planet, men are one of the elements to participate in the search for food. The visitor can admire the endless drama in nature, that is, the eternal variation of tides, the endless fight to survive. It is an opportunity of a unique and unforgettable experience. Come visit and take an incredible adventure to the Sebui Ecological Reserve.